Meeting called to order. Today is Tuesday, November 4th. It is now 6:05 PM. Town Council meeting in Town Council Chambers, 1170 Main Street, West Warwick, Rhode Island. Mark, you ladies and gentlemen.
We ask for the wisdom to make good decisions, to speak with confidence and listen with compassion as we work together to create a better way of life for the people of West Warwick. Amen.
Jay, was in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilman Dennison?
Here.
Councilman Lichardi?
Here.
Councilman Messier is absent. Council Vice President Williamson?
Here.
Council President Goslin?
Here.
Quorum is declared. Consent agenda, approval of the minutes of the October 21st, 2025 Town Council.
Move approval.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Liquor licenses, Town Council acting as a liquor commission. You
So,
guys want to take them by section?
yeah, actually, I'll move Class A renewals.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion on Class A renewals? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I'll move Class B limited renewals.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion on Class B? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I'm going to recuse myself from the next group.
I'll move Class B ritual renewals.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Good. I was gonna say, there's only two of you here. Any comment on Class B victual? Any public comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Class D club renewals.
I'll move Class D club renewals.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Class T renewal.
I'll move Class T renewals.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Previous licenses, theatrical performance shows and exhibition license. I will recuse myself from that as well.
I will move theatrical performance shows and exhibition licenses.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Dance flag band license renewals.
Move dance live band license renewals.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Pool table license.
Move pool table licenses.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion? Never had anybody to discuss pool tables, so,
No?
no. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
All right, appointments and resignations. A request from John Reed for appointment to the school building committee.
I move the request to approve the request of John Reed. To the school committee, school building committee, I'm sorry.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion?
No, John's been, he's been actively involved. He was, very supportive of, getting the bond passed as well. He has some construction experience. He has the ability to look at, bids. I think he'll be a good addition to, the committee.
Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, John. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Request from Deborah Taco for reappointment to the West Warwick Housing Authority.
Move the request to approve Deb Taco to reappoint her to the West Warwick Housing Authority.
Second.
Moving second, Deb's been on this board for a while, but I know anytime I've had to call her about Clyde Towers, she's always gotten the answer for me or gotten back to me, so I think she's a good value here, so. Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
New business, consideration of amendments to the determination of residential zoning districts.
Move the item.
Second.
Al?
This matter coming before you. I'm here only tonight to tell you what Marilyn and Bob and I have thought about and asking permission to go forward. I didn't want to go forward and spend the time to do it because we're the only community. This is something we've come up with and we're the only community to have it. When the zoning ordinance was passed back in 1965, it said that there were four residential classes. AA, not less than 10,000. A, not less than 8,000. But this is for a single family residential, not less than 8,000 square feet. 75, not less, the B was not less than 75, and the C was not less than 6. In 1993, after the passage of the General Laws Comprehensive Zoning Act, they basically came up with the zoning code we have today. The only change in this area was they went from AA, A, B, and C to 10, 8, 75, R10, R8, R75, but it was the same thing, not less than. Well, as time developed, and we've recently noticed that these general areas have lots in them. The R6, which is a minimum of 6,000, has lots that range from 5,000 to 15,000 in it. And the R10, the same thing. They've got lots of all different sizes. So and I'll get into the comments that David made. What we were thinking of is right now, if I have a lot that is 5,000 square feet, and I happen to be in an R10 zone, and I want to build a shed or do something with it, I have to meet the R10 standards, which, for example, if I had my frontage, I'm in an R10. If I were in an R6 where I belong, I need 55 feet. But because I'm in an R10, I need 80 feet. Going the other way around, if I happen to have a 15,000 square foot lot and I'm in an R6 zone, if I'm in the R10, I can only occupy 20% of the land. If I'm in the R6, I can occupy 30% of the land. So our feeling was that we were basing our dimensions on where I happen to live, not what did I actually have. So we came up with the idea of changing that from where you happen to live, that if you have a lot of less than 7,500 square feet, it would be an R1. If you had a lot between 75 and 10, it would be an R2. And if you had more than 10, it would be an R3. We did not go any further to try and refine what types of setbacks or coverage you should have. Because at that point in time, Marilyn, Bob and I said, there's a lot of work to this. So come before you, not asking you to approve anything, other than saying, go ahead and look into it. Well, that was it. When I got here, David raised an issue that in all honesty, none of us had thought about. David raised the issue that if a person has a large lot that's presently in an R8, where he would be governed by the R8 lot, he can divide that into smaller lots and put more houses into that.
I also use the example, there's on Summit Avenue, there was 4 5,000 square foot lots currently fenced off, possibly getting ready to sell. And based off these comments that I read, right now, that's considered two buildable lots in the zone it's in, but they would have to take two 5,000s and combine them. Now, based on what they have written here, you don't have to do nothing. You can have 4 houses right there now at 5,000 square foot each. And he just crammed in a whole entire neighborhood. And in today's day and age, that's what the contract is going to do. And we don't need that. And this is bringing it back to 1965, it's 2025, and I'm a little nervous with this. I'm just, between the overcrowding, and I use property, like, I talked to about South Street. That would be zoned basically into an R1, it's 20,000 square feet, but I can come for a variance and ask to put in 3 houses on, which I don't think is right. I just, in today's day and age, with the way contractors are building, they will slap anything on a postage stamp. They'll put a 30 by 50 house in this room and leave you. Walk out your front door, you're in the road. They don't care. I'm just nervous about the setbacks. I don't know why we want to even think about changing this with the setbacks. And then Al brought up a point where if you got a 15,000 square foot lot in R6, but your house is in the middle, well, it doesn't make it buildable anywhere else. They'd have to knock down the house and subdivide the land. Well, that's not my problem. That's whoever owns the land, that's their problem. If they're in an R6 and they got 20,000 square feet, hey, God bless them, maybe that's what they want, and they want that land. But I think with the vacant lots that are out there right now, based off what I have seen over the past 3 months, I've seen a lot of examples out there, and with this change, and I know you're only looking to move forward and get ideas. We move forward with this and they come back with it. I don't want to waste a lot of time, energy and money of ours for something that's already in place. R6, 66,000 square feet is the smallest lot that West Warwick can build in. And 7,500, 8,000, 10,000 and higher. I don't see that we need to make a lot smaller and easier to build on. I really don't.
I don't think that's what the,
The way he has it written, it makes it a lot easier for lots to be built on.
I think the impetus is more that current 5,000 square foot lot is being handcuffed as to what they can do with the lot because they're in an R10 zone.
That's right, because you're in an R10 zone now.
But-
Dave Goslin's in an R8 zone or R10 zone. Right, and I needed 10,000 square feet, but the guy on the side of me who wants to sell his lot can now throw in 3 houses because he's got 15,000, 18,000 square feet.
No, I don't think
That's
By
the way he has it written,
No.
he has 0 to
Well-
7,500 would be 1 lot.
He would have to go in and subdivide his
correct,
lot
correct.
into 4.
Why wouldn't
The cost.
And that,
I mean,
and in all honesty,
the
that
cost
was
is
not,
easy? The cost is about
okay, all right,
$1,000.
calm down, boy, calm down.
I'm just saying the cost,
But-
the cost to do a lot like that, survey and everything else is less than $5,000.
But I think we've had a number of cases where, and you just said a shed.
Yeah.
Someone who is in an R10 zone, that's been R10 zone, I'm not sure why, where all the houses are on 7,500 square foot lots,
yes,
can't put a shed other than in the middle of their backyard.
And I brought that up, there's one right next door to your country club. On Sear in Wakefield.
Yep.
The shed is 10 feet from the country club, it's in the middle of their backyard. Now, if you want to change the settings, like I said to Al, if you want to change the setbacks, in other words, 5 feet or 4 feet from the property line, you can put a shed, I'm for that. But if you want to put a whole house with a shed in a 5,000 square foot
Well,
lot,
I
I'm
think,
not for
I
that.
don't think that's not what.
That's what he has drawn here.
Well, again,
I do have to say that the issue he raised,
yes,
we had not thought about.
but what you're asking for is to actually take a look at this
Yes,
and see if there are improvements that can be made, because it hasn't been looked at since 1965. Yes, I mean, so I get it. You're right, we don't want to slap 4 houses on a
Yeah.
25 or a 20,000 square foot. I get that. But I think we should afford, again, people these days, especially since COVID, their backyards are important to them. And I would suggest, I haven't done this, I've done a little riding around. If we were to take a ride around and look at where sheds are or aren't,
oh.
most
no.
people are in violation. And I certainly don't want to have someone to go out and start throwing out violation
I
notices.
work with a minimum housing inspector.
Yes,
I know what's up there.
So those are the kinds of things that I think to modernize what we have now to allow that to happen, not necessarily
But a shed, like, for instance, I know he said frontage.
yeah.
If you have a 5,000 foot lot. And you have a house that's connected to that 5,000 foot lot and you wanna put a shed on it. I don't have a problem with putting a shed, meeting the setbacks at 10 feet, but again, the way it's worded in here. 5,000 square foot lot, I can put a house on and then probably put a shed on later on, closer if I want. But. I'm just a little nervous with the way this is worded. If you wanna, if
Again,
you
it's
wanna
not,
move
it's not,
forward
it's
with just
not,
setbacks.
it's not, again, this is what Al came up with, asking for permission to research it more.
So-
That's what,
Here's my opinion, and just my opinion to everybody up here. I think the lot sizes should stay the same in the zones they're in. And if you wanna look at setbacks of other structures, I'm for that, but I am not for allowing, like I said. If I go down Summit Avenue, there's 20,000 square feet of land. Based off this, he could slap 4 houses and destroy that entire neighborhood.
and the guy that has a 75 square foot,
7,500.
100 square foot lot, can't put a shed in the back corner, has to put it in the middle of his
And
backyard.
that's what I just said. If you
Well,
guys
but
wanna
again,
move
that's,
forward
that's
with
that's the premise that we're.
If you wanna look at setbacks, I'm for that, but I'm not for, so Jay, I'll give you a perfect example. A lot of the houses up near you just got built, R8, so they need 8,000 square foot. But based off this, it could be in the zone 1. And in the future, he could have put double the amount of houses in there, if that was a development based off the wording on this. Now, if they wanna put a shed up, and they wanna put it up to the border of their property, I don't have a problem with that. As long, because right now it is 10 feet. Unless you've got a lot of land, 10 feet is a lot.
It's a lot.
And I know, and I told you, I went through this discussion with you a couple months ago. The one on Sear, that's right in their backyard, up against their deck, basically, and, it does look funny when you drive by, it is a corner lot on Wakefield Street, so. Again, if you wanna talk setbacks to other structures, I'm good with, but as far as houses, I can't support making lots easier to build on.
Let me rephrase my request.
Yeah.
That I would like the authority to go forward. Looking into the setbacks and that kind of things. And to see, and I doubt that I'm gonna come up with anything. If there were a way to protect against your concerns.
I agree
Right.
that we don't wanna throw, although I think some of the rules allow you to put structures up anyway. There's one on Wakefield Street now, and it actually looks very nice, but
No, but I went through this with, actually, the, residents, the Taybacks. They had a separate lot that was attached to their lot, and they were told years ago they couldn't build a shed on that lot because it's a separate lot. Even though it's abutting all their lots, and the building official told them, no, they couldn't build it. They had to actually come for a
and
variance
that's crazy.
and to
That's-
actually
that's-
build on their land.
That's a crazy thing to have to
It's a
do, in
dead
my
end street.
opinion. Yeah,
I would suggest to drive around town
well,
and look at the setback. And it's not an issue until somebody gets upset and complains and your shed is not in the middle of your yard, it's in the back corner. And we had an argument and now I'm coming after you. And that's what it's all about. 9 years on the council, 20 years on the council.
19,
I'm sure you've gotten a lot of
2
those.
days,
Yeah.
19 and
And,
2
and
days.
you know what, really, if it's not bothering anyone, and it's not a safety issue, if you have to come for a variance, I can't see you saying no,
I just put it before you that, that's why I didn't wanna go any further than I did.
so you're saying you would,
I agree with Dave with this,
okay,
as far as keeping everything the same. I mean,
so somebody can't put a shed on their 7,500
No,
square
I-
foot lot?
no,
No, wait a minute, yeah, that's what you just said.
I'm saying as far as the development here, changing,
Different, that, again, I'm not sure you're
That's
thinking
what-
about,
is that what, that's, I believe.
I don't-
I'm
think that's what
all
it
for
says.
keeping land the same zones.
Yeah, so what?
R10 is
It's
R10,
not-
R8 is R8.
it's not-
even if they're all 7,500 square foot lots in that R10 zone.
They can combine them, they can make a 15,000 square.
No, they're individual lots that people own right now.
Yeah, so perfect example, Summit Avenue's 4 5,000 square foot lots. He's in an R8, he needs 8,000 square feet, so he's gonna end up selling those lots to an individual that's probably going to merge them into two 10,000 square foot lots
Okay,
and put two houses up. Perfect, it fits the neighborhood because everybody's about 8,000 to 10,000 square feet. But if you put this one forward the way he wants it today, I'm saying just,
again.
if it's an ordinance today.
Yeah.
That same individual sells those lots and gets 5,000, 5,000, puts four houses in a two-zone area.
I'm not sure that's true, but.
It's very true.
Well, he would, he's got that, he could subdivide it.
And if he's got four fives and you got 0 to 6,000, you now classify that as a buildable lot from 0 to 6,000 square feet.
Yeah, this is the first, David mentioned.
Oh.
And, at least, let me look forward in the
Yeah,
setbacks and stuff.
They're already doing it, David.
I
They're
agree.
already putting houses on 5,000.
That's, I agree.
They have to come for a variance.
Right, Coit Avenue, Ontario Street. They left an existing house on a 5,000 square foot lot. The other two lots he owned, Zarella put two new houses up.
It came for a variance though, correct?
No,
No,
Then who authorized it?
It was allowed.
it was allowed through the new laws by the state.
that's
of Rhode
exactly right.
So
That's
why even
exactly right.
change? Why waste our money and have Al change it if this was? Just look for the
Island.
setbacks.
Same thing happened over around the corner of East
East
Greenwich
Greenwich,
and
Yeah, they should
Session.
come on.
And a big corner over there, they put in 3 new houses on 8,000 square foot lots.
I believe those were 10,000 though.
10.
Yeah, it was a 40,000.
Those are
square foot
10,000,
total.
yeah.
It
But
was-
they're-
Don't get me wrong, they are
It's
crowbarred in.
estimated, it looks
Yeah.
the same way it does on Coit Avenue.
Right.
And there are a few other spots here and there that.
But realistically, if that happened to be in the R1, the new R1,
You could have done
he could
more.
have did 5.
Yeah.
Cause that's what I can tell you honestly, I have looked at more land in this town in the past 4 months, and Sal's my witness to that. That I have looked at more properties in this town. And if we go with this, the way it's written, the way he has it today, that's not good for this town.
So. Yeah, so maybe I need some more guidance and that's what I'm struggling with. So on East Greenwich Avenue, you said he could have put in 5.
Cause he subdivided that land and he needed 8,000 square feet to build over there. So he put in 3 10,000 square foot lots because he had the land. He took the existing house and then took the other 2 houses, made them 10,000 and 10,000.
Yeah.
But if he's in an R1 and it happens to be the new R1 zone, I don't know what the zone is gonna be up there. I
But
can't
yeah,
say that.
the zone's not gonna be up there. The zone's gonna be for each lot. Yeah.
Being zones though.
No, it wouldn't. No, each
Why
lot
do you
will
have
be,
zone 1? Why does he have R1, R2 and R3?
they will be classified. An R1 could be, you could have an R1 and an R2 right next door to one another, based on what you're saying. It's based on the lot size.
That's the.
Based on the lot size.
Then I
Yes.
So
disagree
really, it's
with
just
you.
based on the map, whatever we can cram into a particular.
Yeah.
So again,
No,
if.
no.
Why would you, so let me ask you a question. Right now, my entire neighborhood is R8, like 5 blocks deep.
Yep.
Why would I say this lot's R1, this lot's R2, and that lot's R3, but we're all side by side?
Because they're different sizes.
But I want mine to be R1 because I have enough to put 2 R1s in my R2.
I don't even know what you
I
just
lose
said.
you. I
I don't
lose you
even know
there
what you
now.
just said.
I just said I subdivided my land from 10,000 to 5,000. Now I got 2 lots based, and I want it to be R1.
Where it used to be R10.
Where it was R8,
R8.
R10, yes. What I'm saying is you're gonna say, okay, Dave Goslin, I have 40,000 square feet, I'm gonna be in R3. I'm using my land right now, I have 40,000 square feet,
Okay,
okay?
Yeah.
I will be in R3 because I'm in the larger side of,
whatever.
land.
Yep.
but Dave Goslin says, well, I wanted to take my lot, I'm gonna bring it to the Boyer Association over there and say, hey, I want this subdivided into 8 R1s. Even more, I can do 8 because 40,000 square feet, 5,000 square feet, I want this into 8.
Should
Okay.
put 7 houses on.
I can throw 7
Seven
houses
lots.
around me now, I'm leaving the town, I don't care, I'm out of here. I left 7 houses and left my neighborhood in shambles.
Is that what this?
Is that not-
That's not what this is about, though.
That's
Yes.
what this is written about.
But is that? so
Again, it's asking for permission to look into changing an archaic way, set in 65. Is there a better way to do it? That's all it's doing.
So as I said, I think we should leave the lots, sizes.
Well, let them come
alone
back and suggest that.
And come back with maybe setbacks to sheds or other structures.
I would like to do that and, you know, just let me discuss it with Marilyn and, you know,
Again,
your
look into,
points made.
it's well taken. I get it.
Yeah,
I don't argue much.
So if you're looking to put something
Since when?
together.
Do you have,
I don't
anybody want to
waste
call
your
Robin?
time. I'd like you to put something together and bring it back to the council.
so that's what I.
That's what
that's
he's asking to do,
That's
yes.
what I was
Yes.
thinking.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
I
wanted.
wouldn't change the zones of land.
Well, but there may be occasions where that should be done. If they're gonna look at its entirety.
Let's see,
This
can I
was
make
a
a
thought that
suggestion?
came
And
up.
so let me,
What's that?
hold on, sir.
Sure.
I just have one last question. If they can do it based off the state law, right? We're gonna change our R1s to R2s. State law supersedes town law anyway, so they can authorize anything they want. Am I not wrong? Is it, I don't even know if it's legal,
Well,
and I'll let you answer that one, Tim.
Well, I was just gonna suggest, you mentioned the General Assembly zoning changes, subdivisions, houses, sheds. I mean, if you don't interfere with the state law as it relates to building houses, you could put a moratorium on building houses on lots that are 5,000 or less, but allow for sheds or other outer buildings. But I think what Al is asking is to gather all the
Take a look at
information.
it.
Look at
Yes,
the state law, look at what other communities are doing. I mean, West Warwick only has so much buildable property, correct? So once you subtract out the river, I'm pretty sure you can figure out how many buildable lots there are. And then determine whether or not you want houses there, or you want the ability for people to put sheds up without going through the process that he mentions. But he's just looking for guidance about, should we continue to make a presentation to you guys in the future?
again, I do understand the concern about overcrowding and putting 7 houses on David Goslin's land. I get that. But I also
nor do I
do
want
have,
to do that.
no,
It-
yes,
it has
yeah,
been-
I know
It had
that.
been my intention to answer your question. To come back and say, this is what we've come up with. Not to come in even with an ordinance or anything else and saying, will you approve this?
Right.
Just coming back.
So you're not gonna draft an ordinance, you're just gonna actually look at what we have, what our inventory is, where things are, the complaints that we get. And oh, by the way, my neighbor's shed is not 10 feet away from my fence. And which would put it in the middle of their backyard. Those kind of things shouldn't happen. And you're right, until somebody complains. But then when one person complains, do we then ignore everybody else? I think that's the concern.
I just felt that when this idea came about, with the time I spent looking at the 1965 law and the 1993 law, ordinances in the state, I didn't want to continue that.
Right.
And be submitting a bill to you that you said, this is a crazy idea.
I'm sure it needs to be updated anyway. You know, if you're looking at something from 1965, even the language,
Well, probably.
60 years old.
But even if you come back and look to allow us to provide some relief to people that are looking to enjoy the space they have, that's better than what we have now. So you're just looking to come up with, I get it, and I do understand. And yes, those houses are shoehorned in there. They're very nice houses, but they're shoehorned in there, yeah.
It was an idea, and as I said, I never gave David's thought, and I didn't want to be running up a bill that was not.
And it might be something, existing houses versus new build, as Tim said. Is there a moratorium? Are there different rules for new build? Those are all things that I would assume you would come back and throw at us, see what sticks.
That's all I would like, is the, okay to do some more work and try to come up with taking David's thoughts into consideration.
I would be fine with that.
Yes, I'm okay with that. I don't know if that requires a vote or if that's just the,
Like I said, I'm okay with checking the setbacks.
Thank you.
thanks, Al.
I'm kind of in line with you. I think we should talk about setbacks all day long, but I'm not interested in crowbarring houses into places they don't really fit.
Fair enough.
Not that that's what you're looking to do here. I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, at this point in time, I can't say what I'm looking to. I'm just trying to
You just want to
look at what we have, and I see some problems and correct those problems. this may have been the craziest idea I've come up with, and I got a bunch of them.
I think the biggest problems reside up on Smith Hill, to be honest with you. When it comes to that.
Don't we have I mean, I've read a lot over the years, but in our comprehensive plan, doesn't it say that houses that come in have to fit the existing neighborhood?
The comprehensive plan does say that.
Right?
I didn't,
In our comprehensive plan, doesn't it say that any new houses coming in has to fit the existing neighborhood?
Yes,
Yes,
and that's as good an interpret, to try and interpret as, you know, any real estate agent comes in, will tell you how well it fits the comprehensive plan, no matter what it is.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't happen. Anyway,
All right.
Thank you,
I
Al.
will do a little more looking.
thanks, Al.
Approval of agreement with Arcelo Deeds and Rich LTD for solicitor's service.
Move approval.
Second.
Move a second, Mark?
As you're all aware, Ursillo, Tights and Rich was appointed for special legal counsel for litigation and general solicitor services come next July 1 or a little earlier during a transition period. That was done at the last council meeting on October 21st. Before you tonight is their engagement letter or an agreement that's reflective of what they submitted for their request for proposal as far as the financial aspect of it. And we just did some logistical tweaking on some reporting mechanisms. So that's before you tonight for your approval.
Any questions for Mark?
No, actually, I've gotten good feedback from people, excited about that and talking about how much, how good the results have been when they've worked with the firm. So that's encouraging.
Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Approval of maintenance agreement with Train US Inc. for mechanical services for the ice chiller system.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
So to save Lori the trip, obviously our chiller has been installed over a year ago now. The initial primary warranty period is coming to an end. So we're looking to engage a maintenance agreement and in searching out the applicable firms that do that. We've determined or believe that the actual manufacturer, Train US Inc., has the ideal setup and responsiveness for what we're looking for. So we're looking to engage them for a period of a year at slightly more than $5,500 a month, and it'd be paid for out of the ice rink's general operating budget.
Mark, can I? In one place it says monthly amount, and further into the agreement, that says a quarterly amount with a total of 22,000 and some change.
Right, so I have an amended one that we received yesterday because the start date. We've had this for a while, so we have a start date of December 1st on the newest edition, but the payment term would be monthly.
So we're going from 22,150 to over 60,000 per year?
$66,000 to be
On
exact.
page 9 of 22, it says 1-year contract, 22,150 paid quarterly. And the payment term is 55, 37, 50. But
That math doesn't work.
No, so it must be, I'm sorry, I must have confused you when I did, the terms are by month. However, the payment term is quarterly.
Correct.
So you had
So we just amended,
Basically,
we just, thank you, amend it to quarterly amount on the resolution.
because it says it on here.
okay.
Yeah.
So it is for 22,150
For the year.
for the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I broke it down even easier for everyone to understand. It comes out to about 1846 a month, and it's 8 hours of ice sold. So basically, my first renter on Sunday morning, once a month, it's that piece for it.
So just out of curiosity, we've had a chiller before. What did we pay previously? Do you know?
A lot more than that. Like,
Is it- I mean,
because
I
we
had-
never
I
had
had
an
no
actual
idea.
maintenance contract with them,
Okay,
so we just paid
as they came to fix
as
it.
they came to fix, and that was just not. that I learned.
So I would, go ahead.
Okay.
No, I was just gonna say, so we need to amend this resolution to say the ice chiller system, and it's spent, quarterly amount.
Correct.
5537, so
Matching monthly.
I would move to amend this, resolution to say quarterly amount of 55,337.50.
I'm second.
Move in second. So can you tell me on a monthly basis what, I mean, there's plenty of pages there saying what they're going to do. What are they actually gonna do?
They're actually gonna check the entire system, and they've included checking the cooling tower too.
When you say checking, just coming in and looking or?
They're just gonna do maintenance on it, checking, little things that need to be changed, whether it's oil, little gaskets, little things. I mean, they include everything that they're doing
Yeah.
pretty much through.
It's in here.
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing to work with. I will say that they're really, really good.
So they're actually coming on site.
Yeah.
And they're going to do an oil change.
Yep.
Yeah, every month or,
It
yes,
also-
yeah.
It also includes remote monitoring too.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
what, my
that
point
is
is, we don't want it to be just remote monitoring that we're paying
Yep, no,
5,000.
they're coming there
Yes,
too,
yep.
and I will say that has worked out really, really well for me. I can actually like log in and go on and it shows the mechanics of the entire machine and shows that, if there was ever a leak or anything like that, it alerts me right away. If there's a gas leak of any sort of fuel or anything in there, that alerts me right away. It sends me emails and texts.
Okay.
And it sends it once every minute until I go to the machine and physically shut it off.
That's like
That's
dealing
a
with you.
good
Yes,
time,
yeah.
Yep, I know what Paul's gone through all these years.
Any questions for Mark or Lori? Hearing none, moved as amended, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Approval of tax abatements as requested by the tax collector in the amount of $36,400.24.
Move the amendments.
Second.
Move in second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Those were basically old motor vehicle items.
Approval of tax cancellations requested by the tax assessor in the amount of $131,235.53.
Move the abatement,
Second.
or cancellation, I'm sorry.
Move in second, any discussion? Sal, can you explain Arctic Mill Realty of 93,256,000?
They had a temporary CO for all the living units issued in February of 24. We felt that that was completion of the project. Mr. Phillips came in and pointed out that the agreement said a final CO. Final CO is not issued until June of 2025.
Was Mr. Phillips aware that also the agreement said there'd be a restaurant and a brewery there?
I think he is aware of it now. We've made him aware of it, my understanding is.
Made it very well aware,
Yeah.
but again, we're gonna give him $93,000 credit, but yet we haven't gotten our end of the deal. And the reason why we gave that tax break was because we were expecting a 1% food and beverage.
I believe there's something coming up with another mill that he's involved in, so I don't know if they're gonna ask for any TSA there.
And I think by the letter of the agreement, the abatement for this is warranted. If we wanted to call back to discuss failure to comply with the rest of it, that would be a separate conversation. But I think by the letter of the agreement, we did the tax based, we did it early. It shouldn't take effect until effective 12/31 of this year for next year's tax cycle. He's just paying the construction taxes for this fiscal year.
So, and I actually did call Mark and ask that very same question, about the $93,000. So next year, I think what I heard you tell me was he's currently paying 60,000, it'll be 153 because that's what he will owe. I guess I'll ask a question about the final CO. I mean, can you just drag your feet and not apply for that? And because I know that people were living there.
It was fully rented out
Yes,
by
it
the end
was.
of December.
That's correct.
They started renting out in February of 24 when the temporary quote position.
Okay, so maybe we need to, so we have, this actually gets us in line with the agreement that we signed. And maybe a further discussion has to be had with Mr. Phillips. Yes, okay.
Why we have you? Does anybody else have any questions on
Same one you're gonna ask about, yeah.
JD Auto Salvage? Equipment over assessed by, that's $30,000 in taxes,
That's a
correct? Or
lot.
No,
valuation,
value.
valuation? Okay.
Value, $3,000. There was equipment that he did not have. Or it was older than we believed it was. There was some,
Well, this says
This-
cancellation
this
of
is-
taxes.
there was like, there was heavy equipment. There's a
This
couple-
says
It says
cancellation of
That's
taxes.
$30,000 in taxes.
That's what that, yes, just like it's $93,000 in taxes.
So I'm saying to
I
get
don't think he
$30,000
paid
over assessed,
I don't think he would pay $3,000.
It would surprise me that a salvage, auto salvage yard would have
Very
that
well,
much.
No, yeah, well, if that's the number that's there, then it's incorrect. It's not
Okay.
$30,000.
I'd make a motion to remove that one until next time.
Right.
I don't
Just
think
table that, let him make the adjustments so you guys can see it next time.
So I'd make a motion to remove JD Auto Salvage Inc. From this listing in the amount of 30,525. I can't do that math quickly enough, but
Those tangibles?
Is it 1 year or is it multiple years?
it says
Just
2025 tangible tax
Then it
roll.
was just 1 year.
Yeah,
but it's
equipment, it says,
$30,000 in
it says
tangible.
equipment over assessed, and the tax amount is 30,525.
And I just don't want us to approve this and all of a sudden
Yeah.
somebody gives them a $30,000
Yeah,
credit to
no,
his
it's
account.
not.
No,
Because that's what's on here.
I believe the slip was made out incorrectly,
okay,
where they wrote 30,000 in value instead of what the actual tax should.
well, that would be a very different answer. Yes, okay.
Is
We're
somebody
correcting.
checking the tangibles?
Yes.
Physically
Even
checking?
someone called, his position is Tony, that looks at all of the tangibles. JD Auto actually called him up to come down and look at his business, because he thought the value was too
So you
high.
hit the equipment across the street in the mill and then say.
Yeah, no, we're not sure. We make our own little,
Okay,
we go down before the appointment, and then the appointment.
What sticks out there is like Mary Beth said, JD Auto Salvage and $30,000 in credit for tangibles.
For taxes, yes. Yeah, that's a big
No, it's
number.
not taxes.
Okay,
It's not.
all right, so we'll,
Make a
we'll-
motion.
But
Again, I
we'll just
move to
straighten it
take that out.
Take it off.
yes. The motion is to approve this, removing JD Auto Salvage from the list.
Second.
Any other discussion on that matter? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Sal, for the explanations.
So the resolution will reflect that the new amount is $100,710.53. Getting that.
Thank you.
Tell me again, 100,
$100,710.53.
thank you.
And 93,000 of that is audit mill.
Right.
Consideration of relief for delinquent tax payments for government employees.
So I had this put on the agenda, but actually, there's been a lot more going on too. Obviously, SNAP funding stopped over the weekend, and some families might be financially strapped. I know the state's trying to assist and help on that, but one of the things that was brought to my attention is some of these government employees have not received a check in a few weeks. So, in the tax court, it came up, so, they were like, I'm gonna be paying late fees because the government shut down and I'm not getting a paycheck, but I have to still go to work. Eventually they will get it. And I just put this on here for consideration. And ways to prove that you're a government employee is either your badge or your pay stub. I know Rose brought that up when I sent this out. I think, you know, I had one constituent reach out to me on this, and I know, Alan Palazzo also reached out to me on this. So I said I'd put it on and I'd put it up for consideration, and I think it's only fair to the government employees that are forced to go to work and not get a paycheck right now, and then get hit with interest that's not beyond. And some of those people, these aren't, some of these government jobs aren't $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 jobs. They're $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 clerical positions, stuff like that. But I just thought I'd bring it up and let the council decide. It's up to you.
So my concern here, Dave, is we're not affording the same relief to private sector employees who have some sort of job loss through no fault of their own as well. So I think this is a all or nothing situation. It's not that I'm not sympathetic to their situations. I really am, but I don't think it would be fair to non-governmental employees to not get the same relief if we're gonna do that.
So the nice thing with Rose, and you can keep me honest here, is somebody comes in and they haven't been on corrective action when it comes to taxes. And they haven't been late, Rose can work with them on that. Where these employees, they may have been on corrective action at one time, but because no fault of their own, the government shut down. I'm hoping it ends quicker, but it doesn't seem to be anybody moving. Again, I was just looking, all of a sudden, we're going into the third quarter. Or already going into the third quarter of taxes. And if they're late, you get your interest on the whole thing, not just that quarter. So that's all I was looking for, was a reprieve on government.
No, I get it, but like I said, I don't see how we could offer that relief to just government employees and not private sector employees if we're gonna do that.
Again,
It's not fair.
like I said, Mario, I just put this on here
No,
and I'm
glad you
open
did.
to everything. And
I think, as you said, Rose does have some flexibility already. And I would, I don't know if you've seen an uptick, Rose, in delinquent taxes.
the ones you send us
Do I
on
think that,
government employees, I see a lot of names.
yeah.
No one has reached out, to be honest, and called and said that they were in dire straits and they work for the government. We've had people pay 2 quarters on, like by accident, and they're on fixed income. And so they're asking for their money back because they don't have money for the next,
Right.
3 months.
And I'm sitting here thinking the same thing with SNAP, is some of these people have to now take more money out of their personal pocket and pay their taxes, and it may affect their, it's a tough one. And that just came out before I sent this email, that happened over the weekend.
But that can be,
They
Again,
restored half of them.
yeah, you wanna try and help. But everybody that comes to you and says, I've had this issue happen to me. And there's a lot of, it can happen to anybody. You lost a job, your car broke, you have to spend the money to get a car. And, all right, to the car or the taxes, can you work with me on the taxes? Can you absorb the late fees? What would you do? I don't have the money to pay the taxes, what would
It
you like me to
depends,
do?
if it's a single home, a single family home, the law is that we have a policy that says it's a 5-year waiver. And we can waive the interest for that particular time that they've been behind. But that's it, and after 5 years, we don't give them that option.
So Rose, so that, let me just clarify, I can hear, if a federal employee comes in and they haven't been on the delinquent list,
Yeah,
and they say, hey, I'm a federal employee, but I'm gonna get paid eventually.
we can do a
work with them.
5-year waiver if they own a single family home. It's not for.
It's not for
or-
multi-family or anything like that, I get that.
Yeah,
So you can do that with anybody, basically.
but single
So,
family.
so
Say,
Rose,
okay.
Rose has the ability to use some subjectivity and make some judgment calls. So I would actually rather have her bring them to us if it gets thorny than to set a policy, because I don't know how you set that policy.
No,
Yeah.
it's a
We
very
might
difficult policy.
Right.
See more once we send the delinquent
Maybe,
notices
right,
out,
maybe,
because we just
maybe.
finished our second quarter
Right.
collection. We're getting, at the end, trying to wrap everything up. So we may see some calls come in once they get their
So
delinquent letter.
If there is a, certainly you can work with Mark and come up with, but again, setting a formal policy to say if you're a government employee, you don't have to worry about it. I think that is, I agree, it's a slippery
Yeah,
slope.
there are people out there too struggling, not only,
Yes. That not necessarily government employees,
Right.
right? So, yes, continue to use your good judgment, and if it gets to be an issue, let us know.
okay,
Thank you, Rose.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Approval of 2026 town council meeting schedule.
Yeah, I'll move the meeting schedule.
I'll second it. Moving second, any discussion?
One thing, I wanted to point out November, that's an election year, election month next year. I would suggest, since there's gonna be so much going on and with holidays, that we maybe consider just having one council meeting. And I know the clerk has an annual event during that time frame. So maybe if you would consider that, we could be flexible on that date to accommodate her schedule.
So remove the November 10th.
Usually the third week that the New England meeting occurs.
So take
So
away
make it to the
the
10th.
So the
make it-
10th,
Make it be the 10th.
yes, if that's okay.
and eliminate the 17th.
That's fine.
I figure quite a few of us will be busy on the third, so.
Might not even be here on the 10th.
Yes. You're sworn in then.
No, the sitting council will be here on the
I'm
tenth.
sure.
Yes.
If I live, I'm not showing up.
We may end up having to have another special meeting that month for swearing in,
That's all fine.
That's fine.
potentially on like Monday, the 30th or something, but
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
school building committee update.
Mark?
The only update we really have is anticipation. Tomorrow is a school building committee meeting. The biggest item on the agenda is discussing the various construction management methods and then determining which one we want to use for the couple of the larger projects or including a particular style for a bulk of projects. I won't do it justice trying to explain the variety of the ones to choose from. So if you're interested, listen in tomorrow, 4 o'clock in the media center.
When do you see this, everything getting underway physically?
I mean, I think we'll have an RFP out for Payon Street right after New Year. With work starting there and probably early to late spring by the time that's awarded. And I think they anticipate that being a relatively quick project, so it would be completed over the summer with anticipation of students moving in, starting for the next school year. I would think Maisie Quinn is going to involve, and that'll be a lot of the discussion on the construction management method, is going to have to involve some phasing and, moving. They can do work in some sections where there are additions where they're not students versus waiting for the front part of the building to be vacated. And those students moved to Payon Street before starting there in earnest for safety reasons.
Thanks.
Any other questions on that? Thank you, Mark.
And we will continue to give updates as we go through this process. This is the bond vote is not the end. It's actually just the beginning of the work going forward. So.
Thank you.
Upcoming appointments, sewer use board of review, appointment to fill a vacancy as an alternate member for a 3-year term. Sewer use board of review, appointment to fill a vacancy as a regular member for a 3-year term. Tax assessment board of review, appointment to fill a vacancy for a 3-year term. School building committee, architectural engineering and construction experience needed. Recreation committee, appointment to fill a vacancy for a 3-year term. Patuxent River Authority, appointment to fill a vacancy for a 3-year term. And West Warwick Housing Authority was filled this evening. Upcoming town council meetings and events on November 14th, the West Warwick 250th Commission fundraiser. November 18th is the next regular town council meeting, and December 2nd is the meeting following that.
And sorry, before you go
Sorry.
on, there's one other event coming up. It's football and food drive Friday night, November 7th at 6 p.m. at the Masnicki Field. West Warwick versus Woonsocket. Admission to the game is 2 non-perishable food items per person. All donations will go to West Warwick Assistance Agency. Cash donations are also accepted. This is being conducted by the police department and the civic center. Everybody's involved. Okay, thank you.
Is that a playoff game?
Yes.
It is.
Yes. And I think after last home game, we might want to have some more attendance on the outside. Last time I did that, it was not good. That's right.
November 11th, we're still on Veterans Day ceremony, correct?
Veterans Day ceremony across the street at 9:15. One of my questions later would be, who plans to attend? General Petracca was looking for a lineup, but
I apologize. I will be working at Rocky Point in a cleanup volunteer event.
I told them I'd be sharing it in my weekly memo, and in addition, when the flyer comes, I'll distribute it. And I told them I'd let them know that morning who's there.
Public forum.
Any public comment? Just state your name and address for the record.
Yep, it's Amanda Flynn and I live in West Warwick. So this is called my opinion because the last time I was here, I was cut off, so I'd like to speak and give my opinion. In my opinion, this town has long forgotten what safety means. You meet time and again under the guise of growth and revitalization, but what we're really seeing is people being packed into spaces too small for them. 100 new apartments here, another block of luxury housing there, and no real plan for where people will park, how they'll exit, or what happens when emergency vehicles can't get through your street. What's the exit strategy? Because when greed gets ahead of safety, tragedy isn't a question of if, it's a matter of when. I remember the smell of the station nightclub fire. I remember Wolf Blitzer broadcasting live from Cohasset Ave. I have friends who died, who burned, who never came home. I remember the sound of sirens, the chaos, the grief, and now I look and I see us repeating the same mistakes, cramming more bodies into spaces that are too small, cutting corners, and waiting for what happens next. I've seen what happens when people speak up about unsafe conditions, complaints ignored, code violations brushed aside, tenants blamed instead of protected, families left standing in the cold, their homes taken, their rights erased, a disabled mother and her teenage daughter tossed into the dead of winter, surrounded by the brute squad like criminals. A scene that never should happen in a civilized town, and while you may not know the movie, you certainly know the line, I'll allow it. And it's not just the women. We've seen men, fathers, property owners trying to protect their homes and their families, only to be met with, again, brute force. Police showing up not to uphold the law, but to enforce power. Officers who don't read, don't understand, or simply don't care what a court order actually says. That's not law enforcement, that's tyranny with a badge. This isn't protection, this is a system that's lost in its humanity. And while people are suffering, we see our town leadership snuggled in their castle on the hill, or smiling for glossy photos promoting their own business ventures and advertising magazines that depend on local zoning and licensing. Maybe it's all legal, but certainly doesn't feel ethical. When those who make the rules also profit from the result, public trust disappears. But don't you worry your pretty little heads about that. He knows a guide. Meanwhile, the residents who built this town are left behind, displaced, overtaxed, and unsafe. It's not enough to pave sidewalks and hang banners downtown if the people who live here don't feel secure in their own homes. Safety isn't just about fire codes and zoning. It's about whether a child can walk home from school without fear, whether an elderly neighbor can sleep without worrying about an eviction notice, whether a disabled resident can trust that the police are there to protect her and not destroy what little she has left. What's the exit strategy, West Warwick? Because the people can't keep paying the price for your poor planning, your silence, and your self-interest. I love this town, that's why I speak up. Because I remember when West Warwick cared about people more than profit. But right now, this town is on the edge of another headline. And this time, it won't be because of a fire. It'll be because you burned your conscience out long ago. Safety isn't optional, it's your job. Start acting like it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing none, motion to move into executive session.
Motion to move into executive session.